1 year. 1 year in our new building. That's exciting.
Yeah, we've been here. Don't you remember the weekend before we moved in? Just that Friday
How
before.
How crazy that was.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Just unplugging things and plugging things back in, and people
Chaos.
yelling, "You unplugged this thing."
There was a lot of that.
It was crazy.
Were you here when the tech team was setting up all the computers?
I think I left right at the beginning of that.
Yeah, I stayed late that night. It was so long. It was a long day.
But we're here now.
Yeah,
and
1 year later, you wouldn't, I wouldn't, it doesn't feel like a year.
Yeah. Do you ever, like, I know this is going to sound weird, do you ever smell the building in the summer and you'd be like, oh, it smells like the first time we moved in? You know, like, smell is, like, your most intense
I don't have a connection to the smell.
of the building?
No, not particularly, but I know exactly what you mean. Like, I'll smell something and I'm like, that smells like Grandma's house.
Yeah.
You know?
Since we moved in the summer, I walked in the other day, and with the heat outside, the oppressive heat outside, and I walked into the air conditioner, I was like, oh, it smells like the first day we moved in.
What a good memory.
Yeah, it actually was a really great memory.
I wish you could share that smell with us.
I will try and I will try.
Describe that.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Compliance Live. I'm Amanda Hosenfeld. Welcome back, Cailyn.
Thank you.
We missed you.
Yeah, I did miss being here.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Every guest that we've had on since you were out will agree that I had to, like, pull some arms behind some backs to try to get some guests here, so it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice not
You
to
have a
have
willing
to do
participant
that.
now?
Yeah, so thanks for being that willing participant.
Anytime.
So you had a baby.
I did.
So tell us about your baby.
My baby, his name is Logan. He is a sweet little happy boy, and when I wasn't here, I was at home hanging out with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is he like the best thing ever?
It's the best thing ever. So I know I'll share this with the world, that when I was pregnant, Amanda, was telling you I have a cat named Maggie. I was like, I don't think I can love anything as much as I love Maggie.
Do you remember that conversation?
And one of the first things you asked me when I came back, you're like, so do you love Logan more than you love Maggie? I'm like, absolutely. Like, I would use Maggie to shield Logan any day.
That's hilarious, because you talked about your cat a lot.
Yeah, she's still my baby. But
now you have, like, an actual baby, and he's adorable. He's got this
Thank
perfect
you.
little round head.
he does. He has big round eyes. Yeah, he's a beautiful boy. I love him.
Congratulations to you and
Thank
to
you.
Adam. I know that you
Thanks.
guys are just over the moon.
We are, yeah. We count down the minutes until we get to see him again. So
I'm going to wait until he's 11 and
Yeah.
you're in quarantine to be able to ask that question.
like I
Okay.
count down the minutes until I can leave him.
Yes, with no school and
I
no
can't
friends
imagine.
over. It's been tough. So just soak up all of that, like, time that he's not talking to you about
Yeah.
anime, and that will be great. You'll remember those.
I
times.
hope I remember them.
Yeah,
Hopefully
you-
not clouded.
Well, congratulations and
Thank you.
welcome back. Before we officially get started, Mark from Accounting would like everybody to know that this podcast is sponsored by Compliance Line. So thank you to Compliance Line for offering this space for valuable compliance and ethics-related subjects. We have tried to get Mark to come in and do that, and he still refuses.
He had 3 months.
He did. I didn't get anywhere with him in those 3 months.
Yeah, all right.
So if you are watching on our webcast on YouTube, you will notice that the papers are in front of me today and not Cailyn. So that is for a reason. As you know, if you're a constant listener to the show, last show was about the 2020 Ethics and Compliance Hotline Benchmark Report. And Jenny and Michelle went over with us the ins and outs of the report and what some of the numbers meant and how they were derived. And I thought, what a neat opportunity to get Cailyn to really to ambush Cailyn on her first time back.
Love it.
And just for the record, you have not looked at this report, correct?
No, I know of it. I know minimal about this report.
Good,
So,
that's good. That's going to work to our favor.
Very clueless. I appreciate the reinitiation.
Yeah.
Ambush.
Yeah, you're welcome. So when we discussed what we were going to do on the show, we talked about talking about some of these numbers in a different perspective. So when Jenny and Michelle were here, we talked about the Ethics and Compliance Benchmark Report in terms of what our clients or customers or potential customers could get out of this report. Now, I want to kind of flip it a little bit.
Okay.
And I want to talk to you about the numbers, specifically because you are a call center supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
You are in the call center every single day. You take telephone calls with our agents. You proof calls. You listen to them. And I think it's really valuable to find out what you experience these numbers to be, and if the numbers inside the benchmark report surprise you.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not, of course, going to show every piece of the benchmark report. If you do not have a copy of this, you can get it out at complianceline.com, and it's a great big banner on the front of the web page that you sign up for our newsletter and you'll get a copy. It's 40 pages long. It's very well researched, and it's got footnotes. I love a good footnote.
Me too.
That's where you find out everything.
Yeah, that's how you tell a professional wrote that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And so I want to just go over some of the top cheat sheet numbers.
Okay.
And we're going to start with reports per employee. So this number is how many reports per 100 employees to an organization get filed. You follow the question?
Yeah, so how many reports, if there are 100 employees, how many reports should I expect? Is this annually?
Let's see.
I think it's annually.
I believe
probably,
so.
huh? Whew. I mean, just, 5.
5 reports. Okay, so Compliance Line found that there are 4 reports, so you're very close. 4 reports per every 100 employees that come into the hotline. So you are a hair high on that. Why do you think that number's high or low? 4 employees per every 100.
I was guessing really low.
Really?
Like,
Why?
I kind of thought your response was going to be like 15. I think, mind you, my judgment's probably a little clouded because I work in the very, very, very busy call center.
True.
So, and it's hard to kind of differentiate that, we have so many clients and how many calls are coming in. I think I'd expect people to utilize their resources. And I know that, no organization's perfect. I wish that they all were, and while it would put me out of a job, that would mean a better world. But I think I just expect people to share their concerns more than they do.
Okay, so this number feels low because you would expect more companies to be open about.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with how a line is marketed, or maybe whether people feel comfortable making reports?
I think it's a great combination of both.
Okay.
I think primarily it's, are your employees comfortable making a report? Do they truly know that you will not retaliate against them for
Okay.
making a report in good faith? So I'm sure I'm a broken record saying this at this point, but really, really marketing that retaliation policy that you have is crucial to make your hotline successful. And then, marketing. They got to know about the hotline to use it, so posters, word of mouth, make your managers tell their employees, don't just train on it because, some people just click through those. So, I know I said it real fast. You couldn't hear me.
Nobody just click. I know everybody reads every slide in training.
Yeah.
That happens.
Both.
Okay, so the next numbers we're going to talk about are reporting channel numbers.
Okay.
So for this, we've generalized that there are 3 reporting channels. So there's hotline, there's in-person reporting, and there's online reporting.
Okay.
Okay, so hotline reporting, call in, an in-person report to the compliance officer, or online reporting. So let's break that down. Out of 100, what's your breakdown for that?
Percentage?
Yes. So X% of people report online, X% report in person, and X% report for a hotline.
I'm going to be so off. Okay.
All right, I can't wait to hear your numbers.
I'm going to be so off. All right. 50 hotline,
Okay.
20 in person, 30 MCR.
Okay. You want it? All right.
Yeah,
so-
how often?
All right,
I'm going to
I've
write
got
this
2
down.
sets of numbers for you.
Okay.
Now, the industry standard, and let me just explain that this is Compliance Line's first time doing a benchmark report.
Yeah.
So one of the rationales, because I know you've had a baby at home, so you don't have a lot of time to listen to our previous episode. But we talked in the last episode about how our industry competitors that put out the general Hotline benchmark reports usually sometimes use a little bit of fuzzy math.
Ah.
So averages of averages.
Gotcha.
So what our Hotline report does is it gives you those standard industry standards, and then
Yeah.
it gives what Compliance Line has found.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And deeper into the report, we see how Compliance Line got its numbers. Wherein
Oh.
I don't know that the other.
Behind the scenes
Yeah,
little chalkboard
you
there.
like literally get the math equation. It's
Love
actually
that.
I know you love
That makes
a
me
math
so
and some
geeky.
spreadsheets.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you have that.
I'm gonna have to look at. I'll turn right to that.
Right, I'll send you the full
Good.
report. I purposefully did not let you look at it before.
Yeah,
we-
I know. It was so intense.
All right, so the industry standard numbers
Okay.
are this. Our competitors have found that 33% report for Hotline, 43% report in person, and 24% report online. So before we say Compliance Line's numbers findings, what do you think about those numbers?
43% in person.
In person, I think that's a little high.
That's
Why does that number
that's
shock you?
cushy. Because I talk to these people every day, and I promise you, a lot of them are scared. And
Of going to somebody
yeah.
at their
And,
facility.
and now I'm wondering too. A lot of the people I talk to, well, yeah, of course I talked to HR, and they didn't do anything. So does that count twice?
Yeah.
Is that in person and HR?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Or in person and hotline?
Does it count any
Yeah.
instance they went to somebody in person before?
I'm digging deep here, but
Yeah, that's
yeah, it's shocking because that's one of the number one questions I ask for every single call. Have you reported this to anybody else before you've called me today?
right.
And I'd say, only 20% of the time the answer is yes.
Okay. All right. So that's a great lead into what Compliance Line found. So to your point, you say, hey, only 20% of the people that I talk to
Yeah.
say, yeah, I talked to somebody in person. Compliance Line found that the in-person reporting number was around 28%. Yes. That's pretty close to what you were saying.
Yeah, it's not often, and a lot of it is, again, if you're calling the hotline, hopefully we'll get into this. Maybe we don't, but I'm sure it's in the report somewhere, like the identified versus anonymous rate.
Yes, it is.
Somewhere in there, like
Yes,
a
it
good
is.
lead-in, right? I just think those anonymous callers, they don't want to share a lot of that information.
Mm-hmm.
So the chances of you getting 43% of any report in person it's just not there, I don't think.
I agree. I think 28% is. I am not doubting our math at all, but I think that's
It's even
pretty
high.
generous.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree. So along those same lines, I
Excuse me.
want to know what your opinion on the online number is. So our competitors find that 24% of their reports are made online.
Mhm.
Compliance Line, this is going to blow your mind, has determined that 9% of their reports are made online.
Wow.
Why do you think that's such a disparity?
I don't think that organizations market the online reporting as well as they market the hotline reporting.
Okay.
And the reason being, online reporting, just from my experience working here, you don't, as an investigator, I wouldn't get as in-depth of a story, of a report, as I would if I got a report through the hotline.
Yeah.
Right? So, of course, I'm an employee, I'm upset, a problem happened. I'm kind of emotional when I'm typing this, in this online report form here. So, you're going to get either everything or not enough. And a lot of the time, getting just the right amount of information is really hard, and then the communication back and forth with that reporter may be more challenging.
And I think that when you write out the story, you tend to edit it a lot more.
I wouldn't have even thought of that.
Yeah, you tend to be like, that really, I'm emotional about that, or let me take that sentence out, or, did this happen, or did I perceive that it happened? I think that you tend to do a lot more, like, self-editing.
Yeah, what a good point.
Yeah, because we do that in the hotline, too, when
Yeah.
we're teaching how to write reports. Like, the more times you read it over, the more you're like, I'm going to take that out. Not content, of course, but, like, grammatical fixes.
I'm going to
and
change
things.
that 2 sentences into 1, right?
Exactly. So I think that that number on online reports is incredibly interesting. And before we go over to Hotline, do you also think that maybe there's a generational thing with this number?
Meaning maybe, I can see that because, this is kind of connected to our generations in the workplace conversation where we said primarily right now we have a lot of millennials in the workplace, but we also have a lot of Gen Xers and a lot of boomers, and millennials are kind of our first super tech generation. So I think I can see that. I can see how the majority of the folks in today's workforce prefer that connection with a human being.
Right. So that connection with the human being in Hotline is if you're math challenged like me, I'm just going to tell you the number. It's 63%. All of these numbers, trust me, I checked. They all add up to 100.
63.
Yeah, so 63% of reporting is done through a hotline.
I'm not shocked.
No, that one's just,
I'm not shocked. I mean, and it not only because I answer the phones all day long, but also because I think just as an employee, I'm a little more comfortable maybe than most folks going to report things in person, but I'm not shocked because my second option would be over the phone. I want to talk to you about it.
Right.
I don't just want to type it.
I think when you're then you're in your feelings on it, I just want to talk to somebody about it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I love these numbers.
So you brought anonymity up earlier. That's a huge number that we've been talking about in this benchmark report. So so I'm going to ask you both sets of the numbers. So what percentage of individuals that call in do you think are anonymous? And then I'll give you both sets of numbers.
Percent anonymous, percent identified. Okay. This is a hard one. Okay. I'm going to get specific.
Okay.
48% anonymous.
Okay.
And 52% identified.
I'm so glad you did easy math that I could do in my head.
All right.
Yeah, all right. So our competitors found that 59% of individuals make anonymous reports.
59. Okay.
And Compliance Line found that 50% made anonymous reports.
What?
So what do you think about those numbers? Why did you do that? Why did you say what?
Because I didn't think I was going to be right.
You're very close.
I thought it was going to be higher.
Real? Okay,
Yeah,
why?
I thought it was going to be a little higher. A lot of times on calls, the concept of anonymity is something that we have to explain a lot to our callers, give them reassurance about. And majority of our clients, they provide some sort of statement or reassurance to callers about anonymity. So I think I talk about it a lot with our callers, and I guess I'm probably factoring in some of those callers who initially want to remain anonymous, but then later say, well, I'll give you my name. Because sometimes it's hard to tell your story fully anonymous, So I thought it was going to be higher because I think a lot of people want to start out anonymous, but then some drop off and then later choose to identify.
Okay. Trick question. Well, I shouldn't have told you it was a trick question. Percentage of high severity calls to regular calls. Okay. So what percentage are high severity versus what percentage are just standard, no immediate response needed?
Oh, this is exciting. Okay, 65% severity 3.
Which is our standard for regular severity.
No immediate action needed. And 35% high severity.
Okay.
And that would be like 2s and 1s, right?
Yeah, so somebody needs to be notified, essentially,
Yep.
soon.
Final answer.
Okay. Do you want the compliance line number or our competitor number first?
Competitor.
Okay. Our competitor gives no data regarding severity of issues. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, I know you can't see this, but I'm holding it to the camera. It literally says no data.
None?
None at all. No data.
Okay.
Well, I don't know the answer to that. Why do you think that?
Could it be for, like, accountability on handling or risk assessment?
That's a great question.
Because I think, something that makes us really special here, and I'm so proud of my team for doing this so well, is our risk assessment abilities.
Mm-hmm.
We're really darn good at it.
Yeah.
So we hear about a problem, and like, down to the line, we can identify, is this something, if I was an investigator, is this something I'd want to be woken up at home for?
Yes.
And, like, that's the first thing. Do I want to wake someone up for this? Yeah, they need to know about it right now. And that's hard. It's a really hard skill. Importance, that important piece.
Yeah.
To, like, different clients. Because I think severity can be severity can be defined differently.
Yeah.
By different organizations. So. What's ours?
Our number is, I think you're going to be really surprised by this.
Okay.
90% of our reports are at a regular severity level.
Okay. I kind of thought I was running a little high with my severity number, but
yeah.
And I think it's just because our mentality over here is just like, if you like err on the side of caution always. So
yes.
Sometimes that of course would cause that severity to that higher severity number to inflate. Interesting.
Sometimes, though, and what I love about this, I just can't talk enough about the benchmark report, but something else I love about this benchmark report, especially this cheat sheet that's at the very front of the report, is that it gives you what we think the negative drivers are, and then it also gives you what is a fix. How do we think that you can fix
So tell me more about
this?
that.
Some of the negative drivers are purpose of the line, categorization or definitions of severity, or systematic risks such as culture or operations. So I think what it's trying to tell us is some people may not report very severe instances because they don't know that that's what this line is able to mediate.
Yes.
That the company has not clearly defined what is a severity, or there is risk within the company itself.
I agree with all of those.
Mm-hmm.
I think the clearly define the purpose of the line point. We actually in a staff meeting just talked about this today, and sometimes it can be like a frustration point, not only for callers but for RSs as well, because it's in our nature to want to feel like we're helping. We know we can't really help, because we can't solve, but we want to feel like we're helping. So that's really important to make sure that all of your staff, your affiliates, how you market this line is accurate. You can report these things here, and then kind of like what we see, we can take reports on as the same list that your affiliates see. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And the culture piece is always there. Like they can't be afraid.
Absolutely. Some potential fixes, since you ask, is for companies to analyze the directives and their severity triggers, to confirm the line purpose, or consider specialty lines. So if you only want, I don't know, burnt toast related calls on your burnt toast line.
Sorry, number one, go.
Yeah, it is my number one. It's an easy fix. Just don't burn the toast. Or trace systematic risk and fix with operational changes and training within your organization. So that's what I love about this benchmark. It says, hey, here are the numbers. Here's what we think the numbers are derived of, and how do you fix it?
Yeah, we're not just throwing numbers at you. We're giving you ideas for solutions.
Right, actionable.
I love a specialty line too.
Yes.
If you can get one of those, as an investigator, I couldn't imagine how helpful that would be. As a compliance manager, someone organizing a program.
I agree with you. It's an easy thing not to screw up.
Absolutely.
You know,
It's a clear process.
if you have a line that is only for HR issues, or only for burnt toast, or only for
patient incidents.
Right, exactly. We have several clients that just have patient incident lines, and we know exactly what to expect. Yep. We can train towards it. We can those help our risk management, kind of spidey senses. One of our agents calls it our spidey sense. So that helps when we know the specific goal of the line.
Yeah.
Do you have time for one more?
Let's do it.
Okay, last one, and this is by all means not all that's in the report, but Cailyn's like, I only have 4.6 minutes today, Amanda, to film with you. All right, so substantiated case percentage.
Oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yep. So, what do you think the percentage of substantiated cases is? And then I'll give you the competitors and compliance lines percent.
So, this is something that, like, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on because, we're the front end.
Yeah.
For the most part. And not all of our clients provide responses, so.
You're right. Would you rather not,
No,
okay.
I want to get into it.
Okay.
Substantiated, I'm going to say that 60% of claims are substantiated and 30 are unsubstantiated.
Okay. Do you want the compliance line number or the competitors number first?
Is there no data for the competitors number?
No, there is data.
Okay, yes, competitors
Like,
first.
I won't trick you. There are several pieces here that don't have competitor data.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, me too. So our competitors say that 43% of cases are substantiated. What do you think about that number?
I think that number just kind of reflects an opinion that maybe the hotline isn't that important as they reflected in their percentage of reports accepted through the hotline.
Oh, I love how you connected those two things.
Yeah, so
we didn't even practice that.
No, I didn't. This is off the cuff. This just tells me, like, that number just says only 43% of the reports you look at are going to be worth your time.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
And I think that is, I think it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because, people who call in to the hotline are hopeful. They're hopeful that that something will happen. And I think most people know it's not always going to be substantiated. Like, things aren't always going to go in your favor. But it's kind of a bummer to see that number so low because, especially as us on the hotline taking those calls, we
want there to be a resolution for somebody.
Like, we want closure.
That's so true.
Okay. What about us?
Compliance line found that 62%, so you were very, very close. So 62% of reports or cases were substantiated.
It makes me feel so much better.
Why?
Because I think, like, again, almost exactly online, like if we're comparing those two data points, that it's like 63% of all reports come in through hotline, and more than half of those reports are actually, like, legitimate. So of course it's worth your time. Like, I want to see organizations have successful and purposeful, meaningful, working hotline programs that are actually substantial to their organization.
Right. And that's what this negative drivers, I think that's a really important point that you brought up, because the negative drivers for this benchmark is lack of understanding of the hotline purpose, kind of like we just talked about, but also lack of trust in the reporting process.
Yep, that's there all day. I mean, we hear about that all the time. Towards the end of the call, a lot of people be like, well, you know what, like, what are they even going to do about this? And it's hard in our position because we can't, unless there's a statement, we can't say.
We don't know. I hope things get better for you.
Yeah, it's always a reassurance of, like, we're not part of the investigation. We have to remain neutral and unbiased here, so we can't know about that. We are not privy to that. But rest assured, I'll get this right to them right away for you, and, here's what we can do. So that's definitely a thing. I off of the top of my head, I don't know how you fix that. But I'm sure that there's a dozen ways.
Well, one of the fixes that it's remarkable that you brought that up. So one of the fixes that's suggested, and I want to get your opinion on this, and then I'll let you go, but improve the intake process, or improve the info that you gather through the intake process. What do you think about that as a fix for whether cases are substantiated?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think some of the easiest clients to take reports for are ones that give us the freedom to go through our adaptive interview and get details that we know would be important, pull those from the story and allow the caller to kind of tell their story. But also, in combination with that, have a list of questions that have to be answered. So if you know, in order for a case to even be investigated, you, the investor, need to know the department they work in. I'm not always going to ask that.
Yeah.
So make sure you have a question in there covering that base. Or if there are 6 things you know you need the answers to kind of have a successful investigation,
Right.
put custom questions in there.
We will absolutely ask them.
Yeah, make sure, I mean, whatever your program is, make sure that you have a list of questions that need to get answered, but also allow those agents the freedom to conduct their adaptive interview, because they are the professionals in this job.
You're right. And just shameless plug, we put out a webinar 2 weeks ago that was a master class in investigations.
Hey.
So it's actually had 4 industry leaders, and it was hosted by Matt Kelly.
Cool.
And it is all about the investigations process. So that's on our website. Go out and check that out if you are interested in that investigations process and like how we make it better and how we get more quality information and how to use that information in your investigation.
What a good time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Did you notice, or I know that you probably have had all this time while you were on leave and since you've been back, to check out, Cailyn, one of our live shows?
I knew that we were doing them.
them?
I did. I knew we were doing them, but unfortunately, I've not watched one.
Shame.
I am ashamed.
Would you like to join us for a live show sometime?
Fine.
We drink.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you were
Went
like...
from fine to yes really quickly.
Really?
didn't it?
Yeah. We're hoping that White Claw is going to pick up a sponsorship at some
Sweet.
point. White Claw representatives, in our 35 people subscriber list on this YouTube channel. Please reach out.
I'm into it.
Hit me up.
Cool. When's that? Let's do that.
We're going to have one in August.
Okay.
We are going to play a game, a compliance drinking game. That sounds kind of like an oxymoron, but I'm here for it. So you do not want to miss that. You can find that link pretty soon out on our YouTube. I think we're going to do YouTube Live again this time.
The only thing that would make it better is like some bar snacks.
I mean, like corn nuts?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you said corn nuts.
Is that what you were thinking?
I love corn nuts.
Is that what they have at bars?
I don't know. I like pretzel mix, but it's like the classic. But nobody even knows about corn nuts, I feel like.
We're
except
still in
for
like
the
phase 2
here.
quarantine, so I don't know that anybody knows what the inside of a bar looks like yet.
That's the truth.
So-
That's the truth. Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy to have you back.
Happy to be back.
I know you do, but I don't know that our listeners follow us all on our social media. Please follow us on Twitter and on Twitter and YouTube. We're at Compliance Live. And on Facebook, Instagram, and especially on LinkedIn at Compliance Line. There you're going to find tips and tricks and helpful resources to up your compliance game. Don't forget to listen to our sister podcast, The Ethics Experts. We've got some great shows that we're releasing in the next couple of weeks. Very excited about that. Gio's getting in on the game. Nick's not hogging it all anymore.
Should it be a brother podcast?
It would be cool.
Our
It would be
brother
kind of
podcast,
cool.
is
Like,
it?
shameless, but have you ever listened to the podcast, My Brother, and Me?
No.
It's like 3 brothers that just answer Yahoo questions.
No, that's the best.
It's so funny. So, my brother, and me, hit me up. You just gotta, like, shout it out, too. But, yeah, I think that, like, along those same kind of lines, that would be a lot of funny, just to get them in the same room, interviewing a compliance professional. Hilarity would ensue.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming. I'm so glad to have you back.
I'm glad to. I'm glad to be back. I'll see you in August.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Live
I mean,
show.
like, before then we work together.
Yes, across the call center. Well, for Compliance Live, I'm Amanda Hosenfeld.
I'm Cailyn Gomka.
And stay compliant.